But all right, cool. Cool.
All right. So, Louis Tenor, right? Go
Yes,
by any other
sir.
name?
Yes, sir. Tenori, Louis Tenori.
Louis Tenor. All right.
Yes,
So, what
sir.
exactly is it that you do?
So actually, I'm a broker. I'm an insurance broker. So I broker with just over 30 the top companies in the insurance and financial services industry. The cool part about that is, Ben, is like obviously, my situation is different from you. You're married, you got kids. I'm single, no kids, right? So we could tailor things to each specific individual's goals, needs, and wants. The biggest thing is to accomplish that financial goal and need without burning a hole in their pocket. Because a lot of people think, you think insurance, you think financial services, stuff like that is crazy expensive. Is actually really not. I work with the tax-free, tax advantage side of things. This is the type of stuff that people don't really get educated on. Something I was completely ignorant to. I had no clue about it. No one taught me in high school, nothing like that. So it's awesome. I'm going out there teaching people, teaching other veterans, family, even my mom and dad. My mom and dad weren't acclimated to stuff like this or nothing. And I was able to teach them to the point to where my mom's actually in business with me now, which is pretty cool. So, but yeah, in a nutshell, that's what we do. We help people make and save money to really kind of prep them for their futures because we don't really get that guidance. I know us being in the Marine Corps, right? We never really got that guidance, to really get us on the right foot. But yeah, that's pretty much what we do. Mhm.
That's awesome, man. That's cool that you're helping people. But how exactly did you end up in? Like, did you already know that's what you wanted to do, or were you out there, just looking for, careers, or did you have something in mind already?
Honestly, man, I was how it worked for my transition out of the Marine Corps was literally I got back from deployment. I did TRS and I was out in like 2.5, 3 weeks. So I didn't really have too much transition. I had no clue what the heck I was going to do. I think I was a little terrified because I just didn't know what was going to happen. But didn't reenlist. Ended up just getting out. I went to the DA's office at first. So I was an investigative assistant. So basically working on cases, everything ranging from, petty theft, murder gangs, human trafficking, just assistant to the investigators. So I wasn't a cop. A lot of people thought I was a cop. I was not. It was just helping them, with their investigations and those types of things. So during that time, it was just like, it was a real transition. Okay. I didn't even know the industry that I'm in now even existed. I had no clue about it. Ended up going from back home in Santa Maria, California, to moving to San Diego for a sales job after the DA's office. Kind of break that down. Basically, everyone's heard of those California fires. The county that I worked in got hit real bad with those fires, and they were broke. They couldn't really afford to pay me very much. So that financial decision brought me to San Diego. I got a job at a company called Cintas. It's basically, you've probably seen those mission trucks driving around, those uniform trucks, right?
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So Cintas is actually their competitor. So that's who I went to go work for. They kind of promised me the world, didn't really deliver. It's kind of like that,
Okay.
kind of like that sucker of the working parties, right? The working party up. Yeah, you need a buddy. I was that guy for that company. Yeah, to fill that position. I was there for about 4 months when I realized, hey, this is not where I want to be. I had the old timers there, like, bro, get out, get out. You need something else. So actually saw Instagram post. My cousin's the one who actually introduced me to the business. Instagram post, and there was a guy up there, and go figure, he was a veteran. He was a 5 years in the Marine Corps, was in Mogadishu, and then did a 16 years as in the Army Rangers. So he was speaking in front of like 50 or 60 people. So I reached out and I was like, hey, what is that? Ended up coming into to their office down there in San Diego. Ended up quitting my job a few days later and haven't looked back since. So yeah, that's how I ended up getting into it. And it's been a blessing ever since, man. It's not something I thought I was going to do. I really thought I was going to do, 30 years in the Marine Corps, 30 years in law enforcement, go that route. That's what everyone expected of me too, just because, my background, family and stuff. And,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, that's how I landed. So I saw a social media post, reached out to my cousin, and that's where I landed.
And that's where it's at nowadays. I think that's crazy that even the veterans of that first job that you were at, they were telling you to get out. And it's like, well, if they've been there long enough and they know it's not that good there,
Yeah.
why didn't they do the same? I feel like that's something that's also one of the reasons why I started, this channel, is because there's a lot of people who have that mindset. They know what they want to do, or they just want to do something they know they need to,
Mhm.
and they're stuck there. And
Mhm.
they transition to energy to helping other people. and then they abandon themselves. But I think that's great, man. You got out, you found an opportunity.
Mhm.
And since you've been there, is there, or so what's changed since you've been there? Like obviously they run the business differently, but what's some things that you see that are like hardships, like some issues that you see daily?
Okay, so just to kind of give a background for it to kind of make a little more sense of what I actually do. So we're all 1099 here. We're all independent agents, business owners. So I run a small agency. I got people all over the country from California to North Carolina, New York, Texas, Arizona, Washington, all over the place. We're able to do it through,
Okay, okay.
which is awesome. So we got people all over the country. And it's awesome because the best way I could describe the environment is imagine the Marine Corps, the diversity and the camaraderie minus the politics. So imagine
Okay.
trying to go out there and find something like another brotherhood or something like that to be a part of. That's kind of what we found here. I think that's
Okay.
why veterans tend to do well. We're really ourselves here. We could be ourselves here. There's no like really political restraints, nothing like that. We could be ourselves. This is a platform that we build up on. So it's literally just a platform to help us, build up in our lives and our business. I will say when it comes to me as an individual, as a man, the same person that you're talking to today was not the same person that left the Marine Corps in 2018. I've grown tremendously to the point to where this is the first time I actually could say I'm proud of myself because I seen my growth of who I've become. And it's awesome that I'm able to do something like this because I'm literally feeding that to multiple people, not multiple, but like hundreds of people. Been able to coach, mentor, guide people from not just the Marine Corps or not just the military, but from other other professions and stuff like that. I was able to hop on a call yesterday with a guy in North Carolina to help him jumpstart his business. Those are the types of things that I do here, and it's great. Yes, it is financial services, but we are a leadership company that happens to be in the financial industry, so it takes a whole different dynamic, a whole different perspective of things. Now, when it comes to the obstacles that come through the day to day, the biggest thing for everybody is themselves. Now, the reason why I say that it's all a mental game. It's all mental game here in this business, and it's a very forgiving business because you could have a bad day today in business, and you could really literally jumpstart it tomorrow. So the only thing that I could say big is the individual. If you want to grow, there's an opportunity here to grow because you have people like myself who go out there and coach and mentor people. You have every tool you could possibly think of to build your business. Like I work closely. I just drove from San Diego to Central Coast. It's about 240-mile drive. Picked up my VPs. These are people who are co-owners of the company. They make multi 6, 7 figure income that came with me on this 240-mile drive to help my mom build her business. Like these are the type of people that we work with. And you don't really get that in a lot of places. And people will do that. These leaders in this company will do that as long as people can get through their own mind and kind of get over themselves. That is, I have to say, is the biggest challenge. Because if you break down the actual business, it's so simple, man. Yes, we need a license here in this company to do what we do. You get licensed through the state, but the training's like our MarineNet courses. So it's like it's not really difficult. It's simple.
Okay.
So the system is very easy. So the biggest thing breaks down to the individual of them putting in the actual work. Because there's no quotas here for us. So it's not like, hey, you got to hit a quota every week or every month or something like that. It's based on the individual performance, which is rare. So we don't get that a lot, or at least I never got that a lot in other jobs or that previous sales jobs. So it's all a mental game when it comes to obstacles. Because for me personally, speaking just on behalf of myself, all those obstacles that I encountered weren't the business. It was everything happening outside the business on my personal life. I've gone through 2 phases since I've been in this company. I've gone through 2 phases where I was losing people left and right through every single which way you could possibly think of, due to suicide, to ODs, accidents, COVID. It sucks. So those are the obstacles that most people have to encounter when they're dealing with a business like this. It's not a 9 to 5. It's 9 to 5. You go, hey, you know what? Go 8, 9 o'clock in the morning or whatever, work throughout the day. Then you can leave everything back. once 5 o'clock comes, and then you start again the next day. So it's a little different, takes a little dynamic. But as I like to tell people, hey, you know what? I'm a business owner, I'm an entrepreneur. Every day could be Friday. I choose to hustle on the weekends. So I'm in control of it. So when you take that different dynamic of things and you running your own show, running your own
Okay.
business, building something for yourself, the obstacles seem to be more in your head rather than the actual business. Because thankfully, with what I do, everybody can benefit from something that we do, whether it's insurance, retirement, maybe they got some debt that they accumulated, so many different avenues. And I got 30 plus companies to help each individual, which is pretty great. But yeah, depends on the individual with the obstacles that they encounter, but it's typically just a mental game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy that you brought that up, because I know a lot of us have that issue as well, with outside problems, and seeing other veterans go by suicide,
Mhm.
um or overdosing or becoming intoxicated and drinking and driving. And not just them, especially after this COVID thing, just with restrictions, I felt like a lot of people got stress, anxiety, depression, and they started doing these things a lot more because you can't go out, you can't enjoy friends, you have to be with yourself. And then when you get intoxicated, well, you don't really care about, sometimes you don't even care about what you're doing yourself.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's something a lot of veterans experience, not just going through anxiety and depression and thinking about suicide, but
Yeah.
having to see everyone else do it. I totally relate to that. I'm not gonna, obviously not say any name, but it was one of the guys that we worked with. And right before that, I think it was about 7 suicides and the first intoxicated, drunk driver. And right before that, it was just like normal. It was like,
Mhm.
this is just normal now at this point.
Yeah.
And then once that other person, he took his life, and it was really hard. And I actually thought about that, like, why is this normal? This shouldn't be, this is not the way things are supposed to be. So I get that. And I'm pretty sure a lot of other veterans can relate to that.
Mhm.
And so when you're in these dark areas, is there something you tell yourself? A lot of people have this thing, go in the mirror, call yourself so and so or whatever, just go up and get it. But what do you do, like,
So for me,
when you're down?
I've been there. I've been down when I had nobody to go to. I had nobody around me. That was kind of where I kind of really kind of found myself. And then I've been down when I've had people around me. I'll tell you this, having people there makes a whole lot of difference. That's why I always encourage people like, hey, you got brothers and sisters out there that you don't know what's going on with them. Hey, just reach out, say what's up. There's an individual I called, not that long ago. I hadn't talked to him in a while, and he just popped in my head, and I had to give him a call. I'm glad I did. We'll just say I'm glad I did. There's another individual I did the exact same thing. And I was like, hey, it just popped in my head. I gave him a call to see how he's doing. The reason why I do that is because I've been in those times where, like when I was in the very beginning of my business. Okay, I had no clue what the heck I was doing. I was a grunt. I was a grunt. No college degree, barely graduated high school, right? And I didn't do that. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So it started off rocky for me. And I got to a point to where I pretty much had no money. I was living out of my car. I didn't have no one to go to. There's some other things I was really going through that literally broke me pretty bad. It broke me pretty bad. I will not I'll get into that on here, but it broke me mentally. I'm the type of person that typically like is able to handle things. A lot of people come to me for stuff, which is great, but this is something that just broke me. It broke me, and I didn't know where to go from there. So I was in a really dark time, and for me, not having anybody, it was just like it was me thinking. It was it was a YouTube video from Les Brown, if you know who that is. If you don't, go check him out. I swear when I meet that guy one day, because he will, I gotta go give him a big old hug, and I gotta thank him, because when no one was pouring into me, he was. So on YouTube video. So that's how it kind of started for me, and it was literally just my mental fortitude. Like, I don't want to be here. I know I'm better than this. I know what I want to accomplish. I know where I want to go, and I know what I'm capable of. I know that I could take myself to that next level. So it was literally just me like reassuring myself, like, this isn't it. This isn't it. This isn't end all be all. Of course, we always get those crazy thoughts, right? It's just an unfortunate fact that seems to happen with a lot of us. But I just kept reassuring myself, like, this isn't it. This isn't it. This isn't it. I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. That became like my slogan. Like, I'm gonna figure it out. And so that for me, when I had no one to go to or really anywhere to run, like that's what I had was myself, and I really had to dig deep down to find that. I'd encourage people who are in those situations uh, to to really, if they're thinking a certain way, and I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Try to take a step back before you go that route. Try to take a step back before you go that route and think of who you really are, what you've done to get there, because we've all been through some stuff and we've obviously made it through it. And one thing I always love to tell people is if you're going through hell, keep going, because you don't want to stay there. And another perspective too as well, things don't happen to you, they happen for you, because you're going to grow from that, you're going to learn from that, and you're going to build from that. And I guarantee you
That's
there's
great.
going to be someone, yeah, I guarantee you there's going to be someone along the way that you're going to be able to help. Because I'll tell you right now, I went through all those things that I had to go through, and I know why now. At the time, I was like, God, what the heck's going on? Why am I going through this? All this stuff, right? All those things. But now I know why, because now I'm helping so many people get through those same exact situations. So I'm like, it clicked now. Because if I wasn't there to help them, who knows where they would be. So that was my way of thinking. Like, it took me a while to really realize that, but hey, I went through those things for a reason. So things don't happen to you, they happen for you. You got to learn from it, grow from it, build from it. Because there's always that next step. The good part about being at rock bottom, hey, there's only one way to go, and that is up. And as for the other time when I was down, I had people around me. Well, I realized that, me, okay, like I had people around me to help me up. Well, I was that person in other situations to help those people get out of their situation. So, and it continued to grow. If you could find somebody to help guide you, teach you, mentor you, point you in the right direction, whether it's in business, whether it's in life, having someone there is so important. Jim Rohn, I'm not sure if you know who that is, but I would research him as well. He says you need three things to be successful in this country: one, to live in the U.S. of A; two, to have a mentor; and three, to have an opportunity, regardless of what it is. Like, those are the
Okay.
things that I start to think about. I think about a lot, and I try to implement that in as many people as I possibly can, as many people as I possibly can, because it's needed now. Now, I'll tell you right now, especially with what's going on in this country right now, we need more leaders right now. 110%. We need more leaders in this country with everything going on, because those people, those up and coming people, those up and coming leaders is what is needed to get us out of these situations. Because I guarantee you this, I will not, I will probably never be that leader that everyone looks up to, but I guarantee you I'll breed a leader. I'll help this leader to get to a certain point in their life to where they influence, be able to take people to the next level, or maybe make a big impact, not only in this company that I'm with, but also in this country. And that's something that we're focusing on right now. Because with what I do, it's not just financial service, not just insurance. It's like next level stuff, next level law type thinking, that we're kind of going that direction. We're literally just building leaders and trying to duplicate. And that's what I want to do for everybody. As I coach, I mentor a lot of people that are not even in my business. Helping out this kid right now. He's 16, about to be 17 years old. Doesn't have a dad. So what am I doing? I'm helping him, I'm guiding him, putting him in the right direction. The kid's going to be a beast. 16, about to be 17 years old. By the time he gets to my age, dude, he's going to lap me. And that's the exciting part. Those are the types of things that I want to do and want to try to do. But going back to your original question, take a step back if you're going through those dark times. Think of who you really are, what you can become. Okay, things don't happen to you; they happen for you. Try to find somebody to help you. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Okay, find somebody who's going to help guide you, take you to that next level. Because I'll tell you right now, going through things alone sucks. Going through things with someone else, it's a little bit better. They could probably point you in the right direction. And most of the time, if they can't, they're going to point you to someone who can, because we're here to help people. Okay, that's my big thing. I know a lot of people are out there. That's why you're doing this
Yeah.
this meeting right now. Like, this is why we're doing this. So and going out there to everybody else, if they need anything, like, my phone's always on. Call me, text me, DM me. Like, I'm here, man. I'm here because I've been through it. I know a lot of people have, and yeah, that's a big part of why I'm doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, and like going off of what you said right there, we need leaders, or even if you can't be a leader, you're gonna raise someone to be a leader. That's
Mhm.
beautiful, especially with our leaders now. It seems like a lot of our leaders now, instead of helping us fix our situations, or help us, overcome or grow, grow out of our situations. They're helping us get comfortable. They're allowing us to stay in our situation and not let it bother us, but they're
Mhm.
not letting us go past it, and that's definitely something that we need right now. And I think that's great, man. You're forming leaders, and that's what everyone needs to do. Either be a leader, and if you can't be a leader, find someone who can be a leader, or find someone who has some of those virtues, someone with positive mental attitude, or
Mhm.
PMA, and just you surround yourself with people that are always thinking negative and always talking about, oh, I'm here because of this.
Mhm.
You can look at them and, well, if you're here because of that, and you have that knowledge is a tool and a weapon. Why don't you use that tool and get yourself out of there? And then they'll come up with other reasons why they can. It's like, well,
Yeah.
you gotta be honest with yourself, and that's probably not the type of people you want to be hanging out with,
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I love that you said that, man. Like, where I was just talking to a group of people this weekend, and then we're talking about that. It's like, you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. If you're around these negative people, these people with bad thoughts and everything like that, you got to change your circle. You got to change your surroundings. Like, there's a lot of people that I cared about, or still care about them. But I was like, hey, you know what? You're probably some of the most negative people in my life. I love you, but I'm gonna love you from afar. Okay. Just
Yeah.
because I need to level up. I need to level up. But you know what? The awesome part about that is I'm gonna get to a level. So when they need something, I'm gonna be there to be able to help them. Kind of, I was going through a lot even this year with losing some people, and actually sat down with one of our leaders, because I processed it with them. And they basically told me, they're like, hey, you know what? You're going through all this stuff more than the normal individual would. So how are you able to fix this problem right now? And I was like, I really can't. So what am I doing? I'm leveling myself up, getting around those associations, these people that are helping me process these things, so I could go build something bigger, better, greater, so I could go back and help everybody rather than trying to help that one person. Which obviously I want to help every individual, but it's like this crazy process, that I kind of unfortunately had to see is these issues are going to be there no matter what. But are you going to be growing physically, mentally, to be able to go back and be able to help not just that one individual, but help everybody? So that's so important. That's another thing I gotta say is associations. If you're just because you talked about those negative people, if you're around those negative people, get away from them, man. That'll eat you up inside over time. I'll tell you that. I know that from experience. Unfortunately, it will eat you up. It'll definitely eat you up. And yeah, definitely. The way you're talking about, people are just trying to, what they're doing is they're just basically putting a band-aid on the wound. Okay, you're not really healing it, you're just putting that
Yep.
band-aid on the wound. So definitely need to steer away from that. But yeah.
That's great, man. And obviously you're a busy man. I'm gonna be letting you go pretty soon. But do you have any tips for veterans who are coming out of active duty, or they have been out for a while, just in general, or anyone trying to get into your type of business? What would you recommend?
Don't be stubborn. Okay. That's probably one of the
Darn.
biggest things that I know. It's hard for us. We're stubborn, especially coming out of the military. People automatically hold us to higher standard. Okay, that's that people automatically do. I People take that in one regard. I take it maybe in a different. Like, okay, people held me to this high regard, so I got to put in the effort. I got to make something of it. I got to make sure, all that stuff, all the military, everything that we did is for a purpose after the fact. Okay, because like I'm going to continue to serve in a different way after. Like, I helped thousands of people, hundreds thousands of people, to in a different way, different aspect. So don't be stubborn. Be willing to ask for help. That's probably the biggest thing, because I did not want to ask for help in the beginning. I really didn't. Once I did, I kind of overcame that. That's where I kind of opened up, and that's kind of like where I started to excel. That's one thing that I could say is be open to at least listen. What's that old saying? God gave us 2 ears for a reason, and one mouth, so you're there to listen. So soak up the information, soak up the knowledge, so you can make a more educated decision based on your values, your principles, your beliefs, and everything like that. That is going to be huge coming out of the military, because coming out, you're used to structure for 4 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever, however long they're in the military. You're used to that structure. Now you got to adapt. It could be scary for a lot of people. So be willing to listen, be willing to learn, Be coachable, as I like to tell people. If you got someone who's trying to help you out, just listen to them. They've probably done something that you haven't. So listen to them so you can help, get to that level or surpass them. As for getting into my industry, this is a great industry to get into. Okay, the reason why I say that, because I looked at a bunch of different things. This is a financial industry. It's what, it's been around forever. Okay, this industry, specifically this insurance industry, has been around for 2,000 years. It's not going away anytime soon. It's something you would call the old money, right? Tax-free, tax advantage side of things, we get guarantees here, which is great. With my license, I could actually say that, and that's pretty great. Being able to protect people, to make sure that they have what they're insured, make sure they have lifetime income, and settle any other debt. In order to do what I do, it's an easy license you could get. You obtain it in whatever state you reside in. So like say California, Texas, wherever, you're able to do that. And all you got to go do is pass a test, and the state will issue you a license, which is pretty awesome. So it's a great industry to get into, because I guarantee you, the first 10 people on your contact list, you'll be able to help out some way, shape, or form, because everyone needs it. Out of all as many people as I've sat with, someone has benefited from something that I do, something, whether it's the opportunity, whether it's insurance, whether it's retirement, whether it's debt, something can definitely benefit them. So in order to get in this industry, I definitely recommend it. If you look at the numbers, there's a lot of wealthy people that come out of this industry, and they go and they take that wealth and they go duplicate it somewhere else. So that you get a lot of people who are giving back, doing like philanthropy. We raise money for human trafficking. I'm a huge advocate against that, human trafficking. Saw it a little bit, when we're in the Marine Corps, saw it when I worked at the DA's office. So in my eyes, I'm gonna go do something about that. So because of this business, it's allowed me to gain some passive wealth to go do that, in a few years from now, which is important for me, because I've seen it, and it sucks. It really sucks, man, especially when it comes to kids. That stuff really upsets me. So this is my way of doing it and giving back. Because unfortunately our government only funds about $22 million annually to fight human trafficking. And that's only enough to fund a couple departments. So a lot of the people fighting it come from their own funds or organizations that come together to go fight those types of things. So with this industry, you're able to actually allow that, to build that wealth, build myself, build my own identity, which I think is probably the most important thing. This is just a platform to help me level up in my life and my business. I'm still myself. I'm still building my own identity and taking my identity to a whole nother level. And thankfully for me, at least in this company, I have a lot of leaders, coaches, mentors, people who were in the military, people who weren't in the military, to guide me in that right direction and to duplicate me 10 times faster than they did it. So that's why I'm gonna go do that for other individuals. So this is a great industry to get into, guys. If this is something that you want to look at, it is not for everybody, but hey, it might be for somebody. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
Awesome, man. Thank you for that. Everything that you were saying, man, we're just bouncing off each other, man. I really like that. I like that, how you put that into perspective, and also how you're everything that you said happened to you, a lot of us can relate to.
Yeah.
A lot of us understand, it's broken down really simple, if you see yourself in a situation, don't stick around there. Don't soften up the situation for yourself. Don't try to find excuses. And that's something which is why I was doing the whole stoicism, philosophy type of thing, because that's what they do, man. They step back, or I'm not going to see this downfall of whatever I'm trying to create. You're just going to observe what happened. Now you've created that knowledge. Now you have that tool. Now you can utilize it as a weapon and get yourself out of there. And I think that's great, man.
Yeah, the one other quick thing that I'd say that's helped a lot is to read. That's one of the biggest things. Like, go. I know you're kind of talking about it right now. Like, go read. I'll tell you, man. Like, it's taken my mentality to a whole another level. Like, go read a book, pick up a book, start off with something small. I don't know, cat and hat, something. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. That's where I started.
Yeah. Hey, me too, man. Me too. It's all good. No, I still do the crayon, but no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, just something. Start with something and then kind of grow from there. I'm at the point to where I'm reading a book or two a month, and you include Audible now. It's even more. So it's that alone will help so much. Will help so much. And coming from a guy who didn't read a book since high school. So when I had to, it wasn't even. I didn't even read the paper or nothing like that. So that's just something I'd encourage people to do mentally. it'll take yourself to a whole nother level.
All right, man. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, man. Hopefully we be able to call you in a couple months, see how you're doing,
Yeah,
you
man.
know?
Yeah, dude, let me know. Give me a call. I know you said I believe you said you're out there in Riverside, man. I'm passing through there all the time. Got teams all up in the area. So, hey, dude, maybe we can link up one of these days, man. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think that'd be great, man.
Awesome. Yeah, brother. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you having me on. I'm glad to hear from you. Seriously, I love I love when people reach out, or when I reach out, man. It's just good to kind of chat and see how things are going. I think that's needed. I think that we need to keep doing that. So yeah, thanks for reaching out, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thank you for coming on too, man. I know you, like I said, I know you're busy, so you got to find time for me, us regular folk.
No, you're good, man. I'll always make time. Good part about this, I write my own hours, bro. I write my own hours. So yeah, I'll always make time, definitely.